you struggling with shoulder pain every time you overhead press or bench? You might be making these 5 common mistakes. This one's for you folks with those massive traps. Your nagging pain and overdevelopment is not from the stress that you carry in your shoulders, it's from weakness. Weakness within something called your scapular force couple. If we have too much upper traps and not enough lower traps and serratus anterior, that's what we'll see. So when you apply this to something like a lateral raise, if we have a lot of over trap usage and we're not thinking about our serratus anterior and our lower trap, what you're gonna see is those traps initiate first and then those arms are gonna raise up. But the question is, what muscle are we trying to intend to work when we're doing a lateral raise? It's shoulders, not your upper traps. So what you wanna think about doing is set those low traps backwards, and you're thinking about almost punching your fist down to the ground as you reach up and out. You're surpassing those upper traps. You're still gonna get some upper trap engagement, but you really wanna think about driving down, squeezing through those shoulders first, to then drive up. Imagine like you have a block between your ear and your shoulder, and you're keeping that block the same angle the whole time, and you're not letting that block shorten when you come up. What do you see wrong within this overhead press? Orientation of your elbows when you're doing an overhead press matter, especially when it comes to shoulder pain. Your direction of force is determined by your elbow and hand positioning. So when we're doing a shoulder press and we let our elbows come down here like this, that angle here being that, we're going to be pushing up more in this direction. That's where we want to drive with that serratus anterior to get this a little bit forward. And then what we're doing is we're coming up and back. Most common mistakes is when people have that elbow at a negative degree from their hand, they're going to push with that chest a little bit more to bring it up, where you should think about drive those elbow forward, set those low traps, set those low lats back, and then you're almost coming up and back. The action of the shoulder is shoulder flexion, so we want to act like we're reaching back and up at the same time. We're not just punching to the ceiling, you're reaching up and back. Have you ever thought about how your posture might be affecting your lifts? Posture upstream affects posture downstream. So where your head's positioned in spaces, your shoulders and your spine is going to follow. So when you think about doing anything, honestly anything in the gym, you should think about what I say is like the demo of a water cup. So imagine like you have a water cup on your chest. If that water is filled up and we fail that thoracic extension, we fail within our posture, now that water's gonna dump out. So every single time you're in the gym, you're doing your workouts, that's the time to walk around with that tall chest with that water cup. And when you think about doing that, it's not necessarily like you're just extending back through your spine, it's pulling again those lower traps backwards and that spine into extension to keep that sternum nice and level. 99% of my patients in pain have this disconnect within their lower traps and their posture, so just making these little adjustments make a massive difference. Stop doing this mistake during your chest presses and chest flies. Losing your shoulder blades at the lengthened position. So there's a reason why powerlifters get in there and they have a nice bridge, a nice arch, because they're setting those low traps and those lower lats back. So get into that position, and then when you go through there, make sure you have that chest engaged first. You're squeezing from the bottom at that lengthened position to then come up at the top. And then you're keeping those shoulder blades engaged the entire time. Imagine like you have a pencil down your spine, you're keeping that pencil squeezed the entire time and you're not losing that contraction. You want to make sure you're maintaining that engagement in your contracted position. I could sit up here all day, but if I really have those shoulder blades back and I'm coming to press up, I'm not able to maintain this, but I could sit here all day because I'm just relying on my shoulder joint keeping that vertical. You can also apply this to a chest fly. When you're doing a chest fly, you don't want to be that big guy in the gym that's pulling those arms down and you're not thinking about those shoulder blades. Imagine that cup of water on that chest. You keep that back the entire time. You sit back, you squeeze that engagement from that chest first, and then follow through with it. You're not letting those shoulders fail and come down. I could sit here all day like this, but I would not be able to sit here like this because I have all that tension. I'm already shaking in that position. As soon as I'm here, I've lost it, and I could sit here. So think about keeping those shoulders back the entire time and just engaging and squeezing through that chest. Improper form and adding weight is the quickest way to get injured. Focus on the target muscle before adding weight. Introduce something called a contract relax, where you actually squeeze that muscle, contract it, relax it. Show your brain, hey, this is the muscle that we're engaging first, and we're not just pulling up through maybe the forearms or the shoulders. So sit there, squeeze your biceps, make sure you 100% have that engagement, and then pull up through. Again, on everything that you do, you're keeping your shoulder blades back. You're maintaining that position as we just squeeze those biceps to then drive up through it. Once you get your form down, then you can add weight. And I promise you it's gonna go a long way. If you don't focus on these things now, you're probably gonna get injured and you're gonna have to go back to those fundamentals. So just practice them, the basics at the beginning of your workouts, and it goes a long way. Efficiency is powerful, but only if you know how to use it properly. Now that you know the 5 common mistakes that might be causing your shoulder pain, it's time to fix them. Remember that proper form, activating the right muscles, and focusing on fundamentals can not only protect you from injury, but make you perform better and be stronger. If you found these videos helpful, be sure to like and subscribe. Got any questions, drop a comment below. I'd love to help you out. Until next time, train smarter, not harder.